We got a spicy one today.
Comedian Tyler Fisher claims he has been turned down by 3 agencies because they said they just weren't looking for white men.
Tyler Fisher posted this video. He basically just told us everything we already knew. All I had to do was turn on any Netflix show about the Crown, about Vikings, about European explorers, and what do you know? They're all black. It's still validating to hear somebody who was on the inside who actually suffered from that. But like I said, it's pretty obvious. If you look at anything, there's an agenda. That's what we've all been talking about. And then they come back and they go, you're a white supremacist. You're a white nationalist. As if those are bad things. And they talk about representation, but you have minority populations being overrepresented on TV. Last time I checked, black people didn't make up 59% of Europe. But you wouldn't know that if you were watching some of these shows, okay? Sorry about my cat, everybody. He's a very lonely kitty because I left him alone for well, I didn't leave him alone. I left him with a sitter, but, you know, he's spoiled. So if anybody wants to adopt a cat, by the way, I'm sick of his shit. Anyway, so, of course, Dr. Phil has to have on the nice biracial black man who's going to identify totally as black, by the way, because that's what biracial people like to do. They feel insecure in both of their races, and then they pick the one that's being foisted up by the establishment. So good on you, sir.
I think it was justified for me to be told, we can't represent you. You don't have the chance to now compete for jobs because you're white. Yes or no? Was that okay or was that not okay?
I think that what is described by you.
He cannot admit it straight up. He has to say, what is described by you? See, that's the thing. A lot of these minorities, they get a little bit of an education and then they think they're like way more intelligent than everyone. They learn a little bit of the legal lingo and then they go, ooh, I'm going to outsmart you by using a phrase. What is described by you? We see what you're doing, bro. What are you doing? Come on. You're not Jewish, okay? Jewish people are very good at twisting language. You, not so much. So how about you just pipe down there? Okay.
Don't give me your little
let me finish.
wrap.
What is described
no?
by you, someone telling you that you can't get that job because you're white, does not sound right to me.
So he finally says, yeah, if that's what happened, that's not right. Because he has to, because he realizes that in his code, right, you can't discriminate based on race. Well, that's what he's going to say. They don't really care if you discriminate against a white person based on race. That is the implicit assumption under all of this diversity and equity and inclusion and supporting minorities. It's, well, we can be racist against white people, right? That's what they say. And frankly, everybody's sick of their shit. Because you came to a country that was built by white people. My people didn't even build this country, but I appreciate what the other people did who built it, because a lot of my skills would have gone wasted in my home country. You know, they don't really have much use for women who talk in Albania. But look at all the comedy you would have missed out on. Look at that. Sure, I would have been living a happy, idyllic life on a farm village somewhere with a couple of crazy Albanian children. And sure, it would have brought me great joy to rear these children and see them as the future of my ethnic and national pride. And sure, maybe we would have started a war with Serbia and some of my kids would have fought for their country and I would have been a proud mother. But none of that compares to me getting on stage and telling you guys how retarded you all are. Pales in comparison. Anyway.
So he's making this up.
Let me say this.
He recorded the call with an agent. He claims turned him down for being white. So let's listen to the call.
Is it a policy, like, explicit that they're not taking on any, like, white men, or is it, like, case by case?
On-camera talent, stand-up, probably not. No.
Okay, so no white men are allowed for on-camera stuff.
I guess it's right now where it stands, but like, yeah, it could change in a year depending on if casting directors, that's not their feedback anymore, or not even casting directors, you know, studios, whatever it may be, where it's like, this is what we're looking for.
Ty Fish here because he came with receipts. He actually came with the recording, which is amazing. And you hear the agent say it, right? We don't want any on-camera white male talent. Now you got to ask yourself, why? Why might this be that they don't want on-camera white male talent? Is it because they have an agenda? Is it because they're trying to erase white people out of the national consciousness, and specifically straight white males, because they have no problem with gay white males like Dylan Mulvaney who are prancing around pretending to be women? They love those. You know why? Because they can't breed. They can't make any more of themselves. Okay? But they can't admit it because a lot of the people who are on the receiving end of the opposite of the discrimination are benefiting from it. So this biracial guy is benefiting from this new diversity, equity, and inclusion program that seems to have taken over the country. He's not going to argue against it. You can't expect that. He's not going to admit that this is faulty.
What do we do about heart surgeons, airplane pilots? Like, how far do we want to go with this? Do you want the best heart surgeon, or do you want somebody who you think may have had it bad as a kid, or maybe their great-great-grandfather? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Is this what you want for your heart surgeons and your airline pilots? No! No, you do not. I'm telling you right now, if I walked into an airplane and there was an Asian lady flying that plane, I'm walking right out. And so are you. What about you, Max? Are you going to fly with an Asian lady? No, Max is black, so, he's always committing Asian hate. What? I'm just telling people what you do. And I don't blame you, They want to eat you. All right, well, you got to have to chill out. Chill out. Don't start this shit again. Don't start this with me. I'm not playing with you. You got to get out of here. Get out. 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 They're going to call PETA on me because of you. Don't give me that attitude because you're swiping at me. You're getting out of control. Ever since you got your civil rights. That's why you should never let the black cats sit at the front of the bus because they get a really big head and then they start doing things, like just fucking stealing your wallet. All right, excuse me. I just have to go kill my cat. His point is that you want the most qualified person for the job. And that's true in every area, right? It's not just heart surgeons and airline pilots. We want the most qualified musicians. We want the most qualified comedians. We want the most qualified actors. And especially with acting, you want the people that most fit the role. How are you going to turn on a show about Vikings and see a black trans lesbian and be like, I'm going to suspend disbelief? We're not going to do it. Okay? Make a film about inner city crime. I understand. Then you've got to cast a couple of minorities in there. I mean, it's not going to be believable to have a prep school white kid, robbing a bunch of people in the inner city. Maybe shooting up a school. That's, pretty normal. But again, all this stuff is stuff we all know to be true. We have to walk around and pretend that it's not, because if you speak up, then they call you a racist, an anti-Semite, a white nationalist, all of these things. I'm Nazi, right? But the nice thing is these words are losing power and people are really seeing through it. And this is something that is pretty clear. People can see when people are being authentic and when they are bullshitting. And we're tired of bullshit. So they tried to keep my man Tyler Fisher down, and he just said, fuck you, I'm going to do my own thing. And now he's actually quite successful because his fans have found him online through his online posting, and all those people that rejected him lost on making money. But frankly, I don't think they care about it. I genuinely don't think they care about the money they lose on talent, because I think there's another agenda rather than making the most amount of money or making the best art. And I think we all know what it is. Otherwise, you wouldn't be following me. All right, I'm going to end it here before my cat becomes a total psycho. But make sure you guys subscribe. Follow my social media. You guys know what it is. Leonarda is funny on YouTube. Leonarda_Joni on X.